Wonderful. Well, folks, welcome to this Go for Diamond webinar. Tammy and I have a really good training here, which we believe is extremely important. In fact, I will say as far as the foundation to entrepreneurship. And Tammy and I have spent years in trial and error, reading books, personal mentoring, mentoring programs, and you'll see some of our coaches, anyway, one of them that we certainly value, that a lot of people know of, that we saw in 2017, I think it's 2018, maybe even 19. So much is going on every year. Sometimes we lose track, and things that we do recent sometimes feels like it's been such a long time, or something that we've done such a long time feels like we've just done it yesterday. It's interesting as we evolve. And this training is really important because we see a lot of people working really hard, and not only they're working hard, but they really want the results. And there's some things that are missing in the foundation. And we're talking about the purpose, the mission, and the vision. It's all interconnected. And one without the other, you may get some results, but you're not going to get the success that you're looking for. That particular formula is absolutely critical. I wanted to remind you that you're all welcome to listen to I wouldn't say to the recorded calls. They're not pre-recorded because they're live, and you can find them on activeteam.com. You can also keep in mind that you don't need to remember the link of that webinar or wait for an email to log in. If for some reason you're stranded somewhere and you want to get on that webinar from your cell phone, whatever, just type in activeteamwebinar.com and it will take you right to the process to be able to get to that actually chat room that we are hosting this particular training today. So Tammy, I'm going to turn the call over to you, and Tammy and I will be going back and forth in sharing the content as we progress throughout this slide for the next 40 minutes or 45 minutes or so. Go ahead, Tammy.
Excellent. And if I can add to that, it's not necessarily even if you're stuck. You're constantly evolving in your purpose, in your mission, and what you want to achieve, your vision down the road. So you'll notice that as you are building your businesses, you're going to get to levels where, okay, now I need to rethink this. I need to reevaluate some things. Work a new strategy plan, and what's my mission and vision and purpose. So you can see behind. I hope you can see behind. I created a new vision board, and it doesn't matter what level we're at. It's always growing and evolving. So remember that. Doesn't necessarily mean we're stuck. It means we're just, things grow, things evolve in the process. So, Chris, you want to start with this one?
Absolutely. In fact, Tammy, I was trying to connect to your actual canvas board behind you, and realizing that it is off, and I just turned it on. Here we go. And just a quick, technology is amazing, folks. Huh? I'm doing this for my office, and Tammy's in her office. It's all digital now. And Tammy, what she did, and I just wanted to share this because she spent a lot of time on that. We recognize that we have over 80 diamonds in our binary team. Some on our personal sponsorship tree, yeah. Some are in a binary team. And I don't know if you can see it. It's maybe a little bit small, but she has all the diamonds listed. And you're going to see throughout this training that it's going to rotate every 5 minutes. And this is something that we very much value, which is in line with our purpose, to guide you. And which in turn, this purpose that we are going to share with you, that we recommend for you to really discover, will guide you to your mission. And your mission will drive you to your vision. And your vision is that will inspire you, that will create the impact that you're looking for. Often Tammy and I teach the same stuff to every single soul that we are in contact with. Why is it that some get just astronomical results and some are just again, it all depends. Not everybody wants to get to where we are. There's different levels of satisfaction. But see, we're not here to tell you to do what we do. We're here to help you discover your purpose. That will guide you to your mission. That will drive your vision, which in results will have the impact, the results that you are looking for. But you need to have the foundation.
Absolutely. So we're going to focus on all four of these. And I highly recommend to get a pen and a piece of paper, or, put up a note section in your computer, because as we're speaking and training, you may want to jot down some things that that's going to trigger as we're speaking. So the first one, we're going to really hone in on purpose, because that's really what's going to guide you in building your business. And of course, the mission is what's going to get you to do the work. And number three, the vision is where you aspire to be. So we're all creating our vision boards. Often we just keep it in our mind what we'd like to accomplish. And the truth is, when you just leave it there, we all know that we're busy. We got busy lives. Things come and go, and we forget things. But if we can physically see it, we become emotionally attached to it. So that's why vision board is so important. And of course, it's at the end of the day, it's the impact that you're going to make that's going to drive you to go even further. And I can tell you that from years of experience of things that we've done over the years in different countries, that when sometimes you get in an emotional state when you realize how much you've transformed somebody's life or a couple's life, or so go ahead, Chris.
Sure. And the first one is your purpose. And if you go back to previous trainings that Tammy and I have done in the past, you can see other trainings that we've done, and we might focus more on the purpose. I believe 2 or 3 call or webinars back, we talked about your purpose, and we spent an entire call on that. And that is really, really important. And you need to discover a why that makes you cry. What we mean by that is a why that is close to your heart. And you'll find often that it's not the money that you're after, is what the money can do. And this is really, really important, because I know that we live in a very materialistic society, and we want the nice things. And of course, it's totally fine. I mean, everybody wants the nice house and a nice car and the money in the bank and the traveling and the luxury, and it's all part of the process. And you are entitled to all of it. But what makes you happy? Why are you waking up every day? Often people forget why they're living. They're just winging it. In other words, they wake up, they get their coffee or whatever that they do, when they wake up, go for breakfast. They may take their shower before they go to work, of course, and you drive to work. Or, what is it that you do every day, and why do you do it every day? And that's what's really important, is spend the time to search. It's called soul searching, and find out why are you doing the things that you do on a daily basis. And then from there, once you start recognizing, you may realize that you have been sleepwalking for decades. And that's fine, because most people, I believe, get into the routine of repeating the same thing. But what it is that you do, is it out of habit, or is it what you're looking for? And what's really interesting? With a flip, just a flip of a finger like this, you can make a decision. But I know us human beings, we can't just make a decision like a switch. We're not computers. It would be nice if we were able to do that overnight, but we need to go through the process of evaluating why. And that's why we're spending this moment in really gratifying the importance, underlining the importance as to why are you waking up every day? What is your purpose? What do you want out of life? What are your goals? How do you define them? Go ahead, Tammy.
So you might want to take a picture of the screenshot. Chris always puts our PowerPoints up so everybody has access to them. And I highly recommend to do these trainings within your organization, because it's going to build a community of hope within your organization, community of purpose, everything. So your purpose statement articulates why you do what you do. So what matters to you? What matters to you? Often people look at the outer world and, oh, I want what they have, and I want this, but really take a moment, and maybe not now, but jot down some things and get in a quiet space and start writing some things down, what really, really matters most to you. And you'll know, because you're going to get a really warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart, and it becomes emotional, okay? So what do you desire most? What is it that you desire most right now in your life? What do you desire? Okay, and then what impact do you want to make in the world? It could be just about your family. When I first started network marketing, if anybody, read our books, my first why that made me emotional was just to be home with my daughters and to be able to earn an income that could replace my traditional business. And within the first year, I was able to do that because I got focused and I was emotionally attached to why I was doing it. So take the time to write this stuff down.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Tammy, I didn't mean to interrupt. There's a really nice comment. I'm sorry. I just a really nice comment here that you're in your picture on the very most on purpose and statement. It says, remember, it is more important that you just get started than for it to be perfect. And this is something that a lot of us can relate to. Often we don't get started because we want to have the perfect environment. I need to make sure that I have all the money so I can start with this package instead of starting with what I can start right now and get it started, right? There's so many people that puts their dreams and goals on hold until the perfect environment, or until they understand 100%, or until they get all the stars are aligned for them to be able to get started before they initiate. And often this is one of the reasons why people don't initiate this new business, which can make a significant impact in their lives, right? It's just a really good statement, Tammy. I thought of mentioning. Sorry for cutting in. Go ahead.
No, this is great, because often, we say, I'll be happy when, and you need to be happy now in everything that you have in your life. It's all part of the gratitude, be grateful where you're at. And of course, you're always going to have a goal and dreams, but happy in the now. It's very, very important. So start now and move towards what you desire. So Chris, you want to start with this one?
Sure, absolutely. See, I remember when we were asked to write a book. I mean, it's probably almost over a decade ago. And that was before Max, I believe, that a gentleman, a friend of mine who owns a network marketing company, actually, who moved in I think in Phoenix, Arizona. Long story short, he said, Chris, you should write a book. You should write a book. And for me, I appreciate a book for the information that it has. But for me, reading a book to its entirety, it's like going to a root canal. It's not something that I like to just do it now. Even I have no information, I'll figure it out on my way. And honestly, I've learned a lot in life. And that's one of the reasons why I became good with computers. I became good pretty much at anything that I started, because I had to discover, and I'm the type of person, I'm like a dog on the bone. Someone told me that years ago, where once I hook on something, I just don't let go until I figure it out, until I solve it, until I resolve it, until I succeed at it, and then I move on to the next project. And this book it took us 18 months to write. And for some of the reason I shared, but in the same time, it was evolving with us. So I suggest for you to access this book. You can get it at Freedom Formula ONE1, freedomformula1.com. It's just a domain that points to where you can find it on Amazon. And I'm telling you, it's full of really good information, not just because Tammy and I wrote it. It's because it contains information that we have acquired in the past 35 years. And yes, I've been full time for about 25 plus. But prior to that, trust me, there's been other attempts. And before that, it was the job. And before that, it was school, right? So Tammy and I just wanted to share our life so we can share with you our mission. And it's really interesting, but as I wrote this book, I started to really recognize my purpose. And I remember years ago in one of the training that T. Harv Eker, which is a knockoff of this other program, Tammy, I got a blank right now, the one that Jasmine and my brother goals, the one
Landmark.
Landmark, thank you.
Landmark.
And I know that T. Harv, again, no disrespect meant here, is a knockoff of that, but T. Harv did an excellent job. And I found him through this book. In fact, it's my wife that really passed me that book called The Millionaire Mindset. I had a challenge with the idea of making a lot of money. And I needed to overcome that before I was in a position to make a lot of money. It's really, really interesting. And I started discovering one of those training segment was your life purpose. And one of the things that I did is I created a lighthouse. If you think of a lighthouse, it's funny because you have all these thoughts and everything else, and I came up with a lighthouse. And it's interesting because in my life, if I look at all the different instances, I ended up being a lighthouse for many people in my life. When I started as a software engineer, I was looking for the job. I wanted to be a programmer, and that was my very first job. I worked for Corel System. Again, it's in the book. And what's happening is we start with 44 employees. And I remember that I had a very strong impact in that company before I moved on to something else. And again, I'm going to skip a few areas, but then I went in and I started a karate school. Again, what is that? Well, I was mentoring students, young and my age and older, which even today we're friends with some of them. We're talking decades ago. And then we turned around and I walked away from that. And now it's network marketing. It's another form of being a lighthouse, right? Helping people, giving people direction, mentoring, supporting, encouraging. And that is my purpose. And in turn into a mission to break the cycle of poverty, one person at a time. See, I didn't wake up and thought of that. It's a process that we've discovered. And this title came while we were writing the book when I started recognizing the patterns. Now, I'm not saying you need to write a book to find your purpose and your mission in life, but it's important that you sit back and think about the things that you have done in your life that are common, and you may find what your purpose is. And you know what? You might be that voice that people need to hear that maybe you've never had the opportunity to share. Maybe this venture could be that. I'm just using an example that reflects ours, right? So these are my thoughts, Tommy, on that slide.
Yeah. So the goal is to take the time to find your mission on why, obviously your purpose of why you're doing this, but what is your mission? What are you willing to do? Because Chris and I are out there, we're literally breaking the cycle of poverty. And this isn't recent. This is years in the making. Before Max came along, Chris and I were globetrotters, building and impacting lives worldwide. So coming into Max, it was a natural thing for us. And there's nothing greater than transforming yourself personally, but watching and being part of other people's transformation. So write down a mission statement. It's very, very important to take the time to do this. What's your mission with all of this? And you can align it as a team. We talk about it all the time. We're breaking the cycle of poverty. We're breaking the cycle of poverty worldwide. Poverty, we may not say the word poverty in Canada, but debt, I mean, we were swimming, we were drowning in debt, which is the same thing, right? So our goal is to break that cycle. And the number one disease in the world is pocketitis. And we all know that, empty pockets. When you don't have money, you're stressed. And when you're stressed, you become sick. You create conflict within family, around, because you're so unhappy. We know because we've been through every single stage that you can think of, until we really honed in on what it is why we were doing it and what we wanted to accomplish from this, what was our mission. And people ask us all the time, you're at the top, like you guys are doing so well, why do you guys work like you do? For us, it's not work, you guys. For us, we're impacting people. Whoever wants to be impacted, we're there. And we'll continue doing this. I have no intention on retiring. We are retired. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want right now. And we choose every single day to wake up and help the team, bring in new people, help the new people, and continue. So what is your mission? Because that is what's going to get you to do the work.
I totally agree, Tammy. And the vision is extremely important. Again, I remember, Tammy, we've done some training around the world about the vision and what you aspire to be or to do or to have. And again, it goes back down to having a very strong direction, because here's the reality. People tend to follow people with vision. Vision will instill success, and also it gives people hope. There's a sense of direction. And this is one of the reasons why when you build an organization such as what we do here at Max International, people will follow you and will stay with you if you have a clear vision and understanding of where you are going. See, let me tell you one thing. Max International is a network marketing company. And a network marketing company gives the opportunity to people like you and I, average folks, to actually earn an unlimited income and to reach people from all over the world and to be able to tap in to that kind of income possibility. And not only that, we provide a tangible service to our society to help the world live a better quality of life when it comes to people's health, knowing that we are constantly exposed to very harmful environment. I'm not going to mention anything here. I think a lot of this is very clear today. And I'm not just talking about what's happening with 2020. I'm talking about what's been going on for the past 30 years. Decision that corporations and governments and people have made on our behalf that we consume every single day. And then we wonder, why are we sick? Well, in line to that, there's also brilliant folks that come up with incredible knowledge to help us understand what we are exposed to and what we can do to help ourselves increase our immune system. This is what we do. We are helping the world live a better quality of life. In the process, we, the consumers, get benefited for telling other consumers instead of feeding the fat cats. No disrespect meant to these big corporations, but what bigger corporation in the entire world? The people. That's what network marketing does. It makes a difference. And when there's hundreds of thousands that turns into millions with a common goal, with a vision, this is how we change the world. Talk about a vision. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm very clear. I know I bring this often, but in 2019, people thought that Tesla was going down. They may have to file for Chapter 11. People are not ready for this technology. Wake up call. In the middle of this pandemic, yes, things went down significantly. Today, Tesla went from a no-name to the most powerful car company in the world, beating Toyota, who's been around for decades. Folks, the world is changing. Network marketing is at the forefront of these changes. Why? Because you and I, the people, get compensated for telling other people. And there's a lot of us out there, a lot more than the big corporation. We're the consumers. We're the one who buys. That is our vision.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, take the time and create a vision board. It's so important to do this. I'm telling you, it's going to align. Everything is going to come together when you do this. And take pictures of things. If you're not emotionally attached to the picture that you put on your vision board, it's not the right picture. I've been so focused in my putting PowerPoints together lately in the choices that I'm picking for the photos to align with the message. And I love this picture that I found for vision. Is you really need to see where you want to be and what you want to do and what you want to have in the next 2 to 5 years. And take this time. Take this time. I know you're busy. I'm super busy and Chris is super busy, but I still took the time to recreate, and what I'm putting in the back is future goals as well as accomplished stuff up there as well. So you want to take the time to do this. And that would be creating your definiteness of a plan. Okay, so you want to write things down that you want to be, do, and have. And then you can start working on your scheduling of what you need to do to accomplish all of this. Aligning your purpose, your mission, and your vision of where you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years. So take the time to do that. And just kind of put this together, because the identity, who are you? What do you represent? What's your purpose? What's your mission? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years? What impact are you going to make? And pull this all together.
I love this representation, Tammy, if you don't mind going back to that slide. It's critical, because when you look at the identity, that's where you identify who you are, to define your purpose, which in turn will create the mission as to why you're doing this, which in turn will be the vision that will help others see, that will create the impact. And the impact is like in the musical world, we call it crescendo, right? It starts smaller from the tip of the arrow, and then it goes and it expands to infinite levels. This is what we do, is the impact that you create by having a clear vision, but without you going through these steps of identifying who you are and the impact you can have, it might be difficult for you to really have your voice heard. That's a good slide, Tammy. I like it. So, which turns
So
into
impact, yeah, impact is what matters most. And you'll find as you grow in this profession, you got this focus, and then finally you get to a point where you might achieve a rank. What you're really going to realize as you reach your goals, you're going to realize who you become in the process, who you've served and helped in that process, because you can't get to the ranks that you're aiming for alone. There's no such thing as achieving your rank by yourself. It happens because a group of people have come together with a mission, with a purpose, with a drive, a vision, so that they can also make an impact in people's lives.
And Tammy, before you change slides, I remember using a similar slide for another training that we talked about the impact that you are doing in the world. And often, and this is really important message I want to share with you. Often as individuals, we don't think that we're going to make a difference. But you have to really understand is you are a lot more powerful and impactful that you give yourself credit to. You have no idea what you say to someone can have, the impact it can have on that person, which in turn can impact someone else. And that's the drop, that one person that creates that ripple that can literally change the world. I remember we have opened, and this is not one time actually, multiple times I can say now, we've opened countries with one individual that was brave enough to say yes and to move forward. And this is how powerful the impact is once you understand your purpose, which in turn turns into a vision that someone can capture.
And we'll certainly continue doing that because there's so many markets that Max needs to be in. There's so many people that are waiting for our products and our opportunity in countries that we're not open in yet. So put some of these countries on your vision boards. What is a market that you really like to make an impact in? Start writing it down and take pictures. Put some flags. These are things that I did, and maps of places that we want to continue making an impact and going into. So I just found some pictures yesterday of some of the things that that we've done to impact, but at the same time, you can see John C. Maxwell there. You know, he's made a huge impact on Chris and I over the years, reading all of his leadership books. And so we ended up, was it 2 years ago, Chris, that we took a course on,
It was in 2018, Tammy.
Yeah, we were surrounded by all the top income earners in many different countries in one room. It was really great for a 3-day event with John C. Maxwell. So you can imagine the experience that we got out of that, the impact that it had on us, because we just openly asked questions. Some of the challenges leaders were having within their organization, how do we handle that as leaders? And it was incredible, the impact that we got from that session. And you can see down in the bottom corner on the left, all the families that we've impacted in the Philippines over the years through a company called Plan Canada. And so, you know, we've been able to feed them and make sure that they go to schools, and they write us letters, and it's really, really, really nice to
And
have
folks,
that. And our kids, Chris, I just want to talk about the kids, and you can continue. And our children, you know, they've inspired us more than they even know. to be who we are today. And we've always wanted to be an example for our children and, break away from the norm. And, nobody determines who we are, what we become. And we see a difference in our kids today on being self-employed or working on stuff like that. Of course, Chris's son is still in school, but we can see the difference in our kids today. It's unbelievable. But that would never have happened if we hadn't take initiative to discover our purpose, our mission, our vision, and the impact that we've been getting ourselves through the courses that we've taken, and of course, transcending that within the organization worldwide.
And to add to the gentleman, you're just seeing a tiny little segment here. We have been supporting these families for 10 years. 10 years. In fact, more than that, 13 years, I should say. That's 3 more years of impact. And
I could fill 2 or 3 of those.
We can have a whole PowerPoint on it. But you see, that's the point. That's the point. Is that we've been very fortunate. We've been blessed to have this environment to impact people. And it's funny because while you're in the process of doing it, you don't see it because you're there hustling, traveling, training, and but then you sit back and you look at your past 10 years. I mean, what you see here is a tiny little reflection of the slides that we have from pictures from all over the world. I mean, there's Asia, there is Australia, there is South America, there is the Mexican market. I mean, there's so many different areas, and this is all due to this industry called network marketing. And it's important that we educate people about the impact and importance of this industry. Too many people have completely no clue, no idea of the impact network marketing has in the world. It is the one industry that can actually really help a country to raise their economy. It is also an industry that can take someone from the streets and turn him into a star, an executives, making 10 times what a CEO in Ontario or even anywhere in the US would make in a monthly basis. I'm not exaggerating here, folks. Network marketing has been around for over 75 years. And I'm sure it's even sooner than that. But I'm looking at the days from the Avon and Amway when they started, when they paved the way for everybody else, right? So the impact, this is one industry where you can make an impact and make a difference. But here's what's really important. You need to stay the course. You can't be like a bee and going from flower to flower to flower. What's the analogy? Company to company to company to company to company. Everybody has a brand new idea, and they all think that they have the holy grail of the idea to solve everything. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know if Max is the best out there. I'll be honest with you, from my point of view, we're very close to be if we're not, because of what we offer and what the company has partnered, how the company has partnered with the field to make this possible. We are in the right place right now. I hope you see this. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, and people follow people who make an impact. So be that person that's going to create that purpose, vision, mission, and start impacting so that people can see that around you. And the real products that are making the real impact are the Max products. I mean, our products are phenomenal. Our opportunity is phenomenal. And anybody who really sees this and you're passionate about the message that you're delivering, you will have huge success with this. Like Chris said, you just got to stay the course and really know why you're here and why you're doing this.
Success with significance. And these are some of the benefits that you get. And these were actual islands that we visited through the Max cruise. And folks, listen, we are in such an exciting time right now. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of changes in the world. Some are good and some are not so good. But the fact is, life is such as, let me rephrase that, life is constantly changing and evolving. And sometime to discover ourselves, to rediscover ourselves, we need to look at the heart truth. And I think that 2020 was a year of reckoning where a lot has happened and still happening. But despite of that, I've seen incredible things that are manifesting. I've seen companies that were nobodies. Now there are massive, and I'm not just talking about Tesla here, folks. There's other companies, the education system, the online education system. It is crazy how big it's becoming right now. It's also interesting where the pollution has significantly been reduced. I know we still have a lot of work to do to protect our environment and to be conscious about the global warming. And I know there's debates on that, but that's not my point of today. The fact is that we need to evolve. And this year is a year where a lot is changing, a lot is evolving. And success with significance is within your reach if you understand what you do and why you do it, so others can see why you do it. And that's how people will follow you.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's so many things that I wanted to do, but didn't take the time to do because we were traveling all the time. And since everything's happened in mid-February, March, I really took the time to get a lot of these things done that I really wanted to accomplish. And I'm so happy that I've done it. I've got a lot of learning online when it comes to Facebook, Instagram I have to really work on, but LinkedIn, and how to work Canva and create flyers and brochures and PowerPoints and so many things that I've been able to do because of everything that happened. We're at home, so we work from home. So, we have more time. Nutrition, we're eating so well and exercising regularly because we have a consistent routine. And a lot of people are adapting to all of this. So when you have the time, you get more things done. So our income is doing really well because we're consistent doing it at home. So despite everything that's going on. And so let's talk about September goals, since September 1st is a few hours away. And so really hone in on what you want to accomplish. What is your vision, your goal for the month of September? You always want to look at your volumes from the month of August, your final volumes, left and right, active, always active, never carryover. You want to focus always on your active volumes and increase. How do you increase that active volume every month? Well, it's simple. It's to bring in new associates, bring new customers, help your team members get to their primes, and also help your team members get to their ranks. In return, you end up getting your primes and your higher ranks. So it's all about helping and serving people and working a target.
On that note,
and then of course,
just before we move on and as we finish the slides, Tammy, the company is launching a really nice promotion. Now, it's not in every market. It is the North American market, the Australian market, and the South American market. And this is going to be, just stay tuned for the blog that Max will be sharing. And for those of you that are also in Africa, keep in mind It's an opportunity to start tapping into the North American market and these other markets that will be listed for this promotion. And it will have to do with the recruiting. So, and helping people get the Prime One. So it's stay tuned for that. It's going to be added on to what the Prime One pays you. So it's really, really exciting. Back to you, Tammy. Oh, actually, that's mine, right? Persistent.
Yeah.
And that's where I keep saying is stay the course. You know, trying to push that big ball around that cliff, it is not easy, right? It's heavy enough to crush you. But what's happening is eventually you're not the only one pushing. There will be others. And that is important. It goes back to, again, your purpose, which will define your mission, which will define your vision, which in turn will impact others that may want to follow you, that also understand that they could do better or the same as you based on their goal and their work ethics. But the key is you need to be persistent, because often when you build a business, and trust me, I can write a dictionary, I can define a dictionary of how many no's I've received, and still today. But the fact here is, here we are, millionaires with this industry. We're doing extremely well, very well. We've passed 1 million when it comes to our assets, you know, a few years back. It's actually quadrupling and growing. Why is that? We are persistent. We are staying the course. Tammy earlier tell you we were broke and in debt up to our eyeballs. See, we were worse than broke. We were in debt. Being broke, you can rebuild. But when you're in debt, you got to pay that before you can start rebuilding, right? Because you're in the way negatives. That's where we were not so long ago. So the fact, and we still,
Yeah, you remember the bank managers used to call us up. Yeah,
yes,
the bank managers used to call us up all the time because we owed money, and now they call us up because, you know, we're doing so well. So it's interesting, the different conversations that
it's
you
more like
have at
no,
the bank.
no, not interested. Don't have time for
No,
you
we
right
don't need
now,
it.
right? So it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. But the fact here is also being responsible, right? Not to get
Yeah.
caught up into situations that are over your head. Is to grow and be responsible. As you grow, we tend to sometime extend ourselves 3 to 4 to 5 to some of us 10 times what we have reached. And eventually we have one bad month or one bad year. Well, what's happening, it's going to come back and consume you. So there's a responsibility with wealth. Trust me. It's not because you got a lot, you keep it all. You got to be careful. What I mean by that is you got to be responsible. But that's another call for another subject, for another call, I should say. But persistence pays. You got to stay the course. I'm telling you, Max International is going to go far. Just like I said to these non-believers a year and a half ago about Tesla. Here we are today. The fact here is, I keep bringing Tesla because it's the most recent. They just split their stocks 5-1, right? So, and I used to tell these people, think about it. Think about it. It's the trend. They have the infrastructure of chargers in most countries around the world that have a strong economy. They're ahead 10 years from the competitors. Boom, I was right. Why is that? Because I saw that they were providing a tangible service. Parallel, Max International is providing a tangible service that people need, people want. And I keep bringing this back because you need to understand that it's worth it to be persistent. Persistent pays if you stay the course. Back to you, Tammy.
Yes, and a grateful heart is a magnet to miracles. Truly, it is. Is to take the time to always be grateful. No matter what you're going through, be grateful, because the more grateful you are, the better things are going to come your way. Gratitude is critical. And we've been practicing gratitude for many, 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 many years. And despite even through the biggest hurdles and challenges in our life, you don't want to blame, you want to take responsibility, you want to be grateful where you're at and aim for whatever you desire in your life, and keep that gratitude shining.
Absolutely correct, Tammy. One thing that I found so humbling when I see a powerful leader who is grateful every moment, and I learn all the time from our team. And this is something that I've learned over the years as we were developing and discovering ourselves and growing, is when you are grateful, people around you tend to appreciate that you appreciate them. And not everybody is grateful. Don't be bitter by it. That's fine. It's okay. You be grateful. I assure you that you will create that karma around you. Be grateful for the wonderful environment that we live in. Be grateful for this company. Be grateful for the people around you that are here to help you. I'm actually very grateful, and I keep telling my wife on the fact that she's very conscious about our eating habits and what we eat and what we put in our bellies and what we drink in the morning. These are absolutely critical. I'm grateful for my wife because I know me personally, I wouldn't be as diligent. I'm telling you, I would go for the half-fast, quick, breakfast, right? Where my wife takes her time and give us the real good stuff. And that's the reason why we're healthy, combined with what Max International has. I'm grateful that we came across this company so we can consume these products on a daily basis. And I know many of you on this call, you came back from your doctors, and your doctors are saying, keep doing what you're doing great. And I know a lot of it has to do with your habits, but also the fact that you're on the Max products. So be grateful for what you have. And I'm telling you, you'll have a lot more than that. And you'll find that if you happen to be religious or if you read the Bible, you'll find that word, being grateful, very often. It is the key to happiness. And I truly believe that.
Have a great week, everybody.
So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. You guys are great. This call is recorded. It will be posted on Active Team. And you know what, folks? What I love about this technology is this call will carry on and will be shared among many teams throughout the day, because keeping in mind that the time zone is not always convenient for everybody. And if you're in a time zone where you are 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours ahead of us or behind us, thank you for joining us this evening. We are grateful for your presence. Have yourself a wonderful evening now. Bye for now.